Big Z Reviews. Spiral from the Book of Saw is the newest attempt at redoing the Saw franchise, and once again, it pretty much sucks.
Jigsaw?
Wait, I thought the Jigsaw Killer was dead.
He is.
Find him. They're hours, not days.
How can I catch this guy? If there's nobody on the force I can trust!
So this is one of the films that got delayed because of COVID that I was really looking forward to because it looked interesting. It looked like a different, more serious take on the Saw movies, like almost more inspired by Seven. And it was interesting with had Chris Rock and Samuel L. Jackson. I was very intrigued. And then when it came out and all the reviews came out, I was like, oh, it sucks. Then I looked at the director and I was like, oh, the director is Darren Lynn Bousman, who directed most of the other crappy Saw films, not the good ones. And I was like, oh, you should have gotten someone else to direct this. Because it is odd. I think the oddest part of it has to be Chris Rock. Because his acting is horrible. Like, it's funny. He either is doing his stand-up comedy act as this character, or he's screaming at people. He is so bad. It's kind of like sad. I don't know what they thought that, oh, this is great. Like, it's bad. And Samuel Jackson, he's great. You know, he is what he is. You know, he's great in everything he does. But the actual like story is just kind of stupid. I mean, but it's you know, the idea is that it's, you know, it's a play on how all cops are evil and they just want to kill people, and this is someone killing them instead. And I don't hate that idea, but they're so like on like they're not, they don't go in depth at all. It's just like they show as they're torturing him, they show like what they did, and it's like, this guy literally just put a gun out and murdered a witness. Like, oh, why? Well, because he witnessed other cops doing bad things. But that's straight up murder. Like, he wouldn't get away with that. And then another one, they show him like like in a gas station or something. He like the driver flips him off, and then the cop just straight up pulls the gun and murders him. And it's like, how is he still working? He should be in jail. And I know that's tough. That doesn't happen very often. But if you have video footage of a cop just pulling a gun and murdering someone, I think they're going to have a tough time being innocent. And especially, that's the worst thing about how the policing works, is that it's not, I mean, they get away with it, but usually they get away with it by not staying in the same precinct. They move to a different precinct, and essentially everything is forgotten about what they did to make them move. You know, that's the most evil thing. It's pretty much the same way that the Catholic priests got away with raping a bunch of kids. It's the same way that the police get away with murdering and beating a bunch of people. They move them to a different district, you know? But instead, there's just everyone that Chris Rock's precinct is so evil. Like, one guy even has like a big scar, like, I'm a bad guy and I'm also a cop. You know, it's so heavy-handed, and the direction. Like, there are so many kind of flashbacks, and if you want to tell a story with a flashback, fine. You know, you get to see what happened with Chris Rock, why everyone hates him, or, you know, whatever happened in his past, and that's fine. But the maybe the weirdest flashback I've ever seen in the movie, like 15-20 minutes into the film, they go back and flashback to a scene that happened like 5 or 10 minutes ago. And it's just not important. It's just like a straight up flashback to a scene that just happened. And it's like, what? Why? Why? Like, it's so weird. And, you know, like the whole plot of it is that, Like one of the cops that killed at the very beginning is like Chris Rock's friend, and then at the same time, Chris Rock also has a rookie played by Max Minghella, like as he's supposed to take on, and there's stuff with there's also this really weird thing. The captain of the precinct is Marisol Nichols, and she looks like she's 30, and like I don't see, she's gorgeous. I don't see how she would be a captain already. Like it's a little odd, but the oddest thing is when they flash back to before when Samuel L. Jackson, Chris Rock's dad, was the captain, and she literally looks older than she does in the present day, and it's like, what? Maybe you should have switched them. Although the hairstyle is supposed to look more like it's older, you know? It's a little odd. At the same time, it does deliver a little bit on the disgusting torture porn, because there are some decent setups for the Saw-like torturing and killing, and I like that it's a little different because the person that's setting this up doesn't want them to have a way to win. Essentially, it looks like maybe they could win, but they're going to die, you know. And although it's so funny, like the death is a lot less painful than the way they say that they can survive. But at the same time, like I always you have to have a level of the suspension of disbelief with the traps, especially when there was a cancer patient doing them. But for this one's, like, a lot of them, I don't know if they'd work. Like, the opening one, there's, like, a clamp on the tongue, and they have to rip his tongue out to try to save himself. And I don't know if that would work. And the tongue is a muscle, and it's, like, can be slippery. I don't know if that clamp would have enough, without cutting through the tongue, would have enough force to not, like, I don't know. I feel like you'd be able to pull your tongue out of the clamp more than you'd be able to pull your tongue out of your mouth. And there's also another one, like, where they were, like, had these, like, weird cages on the fingers. Essentially, there's one guy that pulled the trigger and killed someone innocent. And, like, he has to, like clamp down something in his mouth, and then he'll pull his fingers off his hand, you know. And it's like, how would a cage on the finger, how would that have enough force like to be on something like that and pull it off, like to overcome the force of the skin, the muscle, the tendon, the bone, you know, in the fingers. Like, and it's the way they show it, like, maybe if they had screwed it into the bone, then yeah, of course, you know, if you screwed into the bone, yeah, those suckers are coming off. But to have just this, like, weird looking, like, cage, like a chicken wire looking cage, like, I don't think that would work. And the most odd one is there's one of the persons that's, like, tortured or killed in the basement of the precinct, which their cold case room, which is for some reason in, like, a safe. And, like, first off, like, how would the character that turns out to be the bad guy, how would they know the combination to get into this cold case there? How would they be able to hack the camera so you can't see them? How would no one be able to notice a person that, okay, I won't spoil it, but a person getting in there that shouldn't be there? And then how would he get this big table and this whole contraption to boil wax to pour on this person's face? Like, how would you get that all in the cold storage room, that tiny locked door? I don't think that apparatus would fit in there. Like, how? It's just like someone came up with, oh, this would be cool if we did this. And it's like, oh yeah, where should we put it? Oh, how about in the basement of the police precinct? And then it's like, okay, good idea. You know, it's just, so many things about it are just kind of broken. And I still think, though, the thing that comes down to the worst part of it has to be Chris Rock. Like, he is bad. You know, I probably give this movie like a 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10. It's surprisingly bad. And not like in a good way. Like, I don't think you can watch it and enjoy it. It's just bad. You know, but thanks for watching. If you want to see more of me, you can subscribe down below. Thanks.